1988, Jonathan Poneman, a music writer for the Rocket magazine, and his friend Bruce Pavitt opened a tiny office known as Sub Pop Records. And they started the Seattle music revolution that would be heard around the world. Records by bands like Green River and The Wipers led to more records by young upstarts Soundgarden, Nirvana, and Mudhoney. The rest, as they say, is rock and roll history. This weekend, Sub Pop celebrates 25 years with a Silver Jubilee free concert in Georgetown all day Saturday and a benefit comedy show on Friday, is it?
Yep. Friday night at the Moore.
Featuring Mark Maron, great guy, Eugene Merman, and many others at the Moore Theater. You can link to tickets.com at bobrivers.com for the comedy tickets, and we also have a link to all the bands and the activities, and there's some rumors about surprise guests and things like that. And I don't know, we might ask him while he's here, because he is here for Saturday. Jonathan Poneman, welcome to the Bob Rivers Show. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it is good to have you. Sub Pop Records is 25 years old.
Well, not exactly. We're celebrating our 25th anniversary because 25 years ago, as you'd stated, Bruce and I went into business on a full-time basis, but Bruce Pavitt actually founded the label a couple of years earlier, and with the release of the Sub Pop 100 compilation. But for all intents and purposes, we're seizing on this anniversary as a reason to throw a big party in Georgetown.
That's fine. It's the anniversary of you guys getting together and charging full steam ahead.
Exactly.
Okay. And when did Starbucks found? Wasn't it around the same time? Isn't it like that whole Seattle? Do you think the coffee helped?
Coffee definitely helps.
Helps everything. Starbucks was a few years before that.
Was it a few years before that? Because it was like
yeah.
the mid-'80s, right? Because I moved here in 1989, and I remember the little Sub Pop office. It was down in Belltown, right?
In the Terminal Sales Building, the aptly named Terminal Sales Building.
Yeah. And the record industry is sometimes a maligned industry. The big labels, anyway, people say, they don't really give any new artists a chance. And yet you broke huge artists and made a big difference in the music scene. What do you think is different about you guys?
Well, I think the times have changed considerably. I think the dynamic is still that corporate music interests are driven much more by trying to break hit-making artists, whereas we love our hit records. Don't get me wrong.
Don't get me wrong. They pay to keep the lights on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's not the sole motivation for why we put out records. We're driven not so much by idealism, but by fandom.
How did you get anybody to let you start a business with the idea that we just want to make music that we like, that's good, that doesn't have to be a hit? I mean, that seems like a very uphill battle to start a business. I mean, most businesses require a little...
Coffee helps.
Coffee helps.
Coffee helps, and candidly speaking, I was dropped on my head as a baby.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Starbucks was founded in 1971, I found out. But it didn't get big until right around...
You showed up.
Howard Schultz bought it somewhere along the line.
No, and he knew what he was doing.
It would seem.
Yeah. Speaking of big corporate interests, let's move back to you. This big concert this weekend, there's a little buzz about it. Joe said that there was a promo, but part of who was going to be performing was sort of blurred out by a train in the promo. Is that what
there's the Tad Doyle and Kim Thale and Mark Arm and a bunch of these guys are making a nice little promo thing on YouTube promoting Saturday's event. And, Mudhoney's going to be there. There are several great bands that are definitely going to be there on the schedule. But
Built to Spill, Mudhoney, Father John Misty, Greg Dooley, Shabazz Palaces, pretty much everyone who rules around here is going to be there.
And then Kim is getting ready to say somebody else is going to be there, and all of a sudden a train comes by, and you can't hear who he says.
Yeah. So it was an unfortunate accident during the filming of that commercial, but what was he saying there?
Well...
Like a Mariner game out there.
Yeah.
We just our production values are a little shoddy, I guess.
Yeah. Nobody cares. Nobody
All right.
cares anymore.
Is that because it's not confirmed yet and you can't say, or is it because we just don't want?
Oh, he's confirming.
We don't want a huge mob.
No.
I think the event's going to be great, just as it is.
Just as it is, even if you don't even expect the
Boy, you know, my favorite band of all time is going to be there, TBA.
TBA.
I love me some TBA live.
Free beer and
at
chicken
Fillmore.
wings is going to be there.
You know, honestly, let's not get wrapped up in who may or may not show. What are we talking about? 4 stages here that I'm looking at? It looks like you're taking over all of Georgetown. You got all the good food trucks coming and everybody in that area is participating. I mean, you're just going to, that whole neighborhood is going to be on fire.
There are going to be 3 stages, and then there's going to be a Hardly Art showcase at the Mix. Hardly Art is our baby sibling record label. And a party will be had and fun will be had by all.
All right.
Wow.
Jonathan, today, what are some of the great up-and-coming, out there musical acts that you're passionate about that we could turn people on to right now by telling them their names and having them Google them or Bing them? I just want to be a local yokel.
Well, I think...
Or sub-pop them.
Yeah.
Two bands that are up-and-coming. One is Father John Misty.
Father John Misty.
Who are on the Sub Pop record label.
All of these are going to be on the Sub Pop label just out of total coincidence.
No, there's one. It's on the Hardly Art record label, which is Moondoggies.
Moondoggies. I've heard of the Moondoggies.
I think the Moondoggies have played on this
Moondoggies
show.
have played in here, and you like
Okay,
them.
I love that.
Yeah.
And they have a new record coming out on the Hardly Art record label.
Okay.
And if I go much further than that, I'm going to need a few more cups of coffee.
Well, also, if you go much further than that, then there'll be 18 other bands that go, hey, how come you didn't say us, right? Because,
Exactly.
yeah.
You
I get
mentioned the Sub Pop 100 release, the first thing the Sub Pop ever put out. Now, I swear I have that thing somewhere, and I've dug through all my vinyl is in crates and stuff. How much is that thing worth if you've got an original of that, would you say?
Let me see. While I'm pondering, I should probably keep talking because we don't like dead air. But I think if you put it up on eBay, you could probably fetch $1,000 for it.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was a big deal.
I would first turn it into MP3s and then put it on eBay.
And it's I'm
And
sure
still listen to it and have $1,000.
Well, I imagine it is on CD now, right? You could buy that as a CD.
Nope.
No, it's
Nope.
still so you got
Vinyl only.
Wow.
What kind of record collection do you have at home, Jonathan?
Massive.
You saved a vinyl and everything.
Yep.
You have cassettes.
Cassettes.
He's a hoarder.
Are you a hoarder?
I am.
Do you have 18 cats too with the record collection?
No. No room for cats.
What stage is No Room for Cats playing on? That's a great band.
The Room for Cats is a great band.
Is it true that Mudhoney's going to be like chained to the top of the Space Needle and play a show? Is that what I heard?
Unchained.
to
Unchained.
be unchained.
Mudhoney Unchained.
Unchained. They'll be literally. I mean, they'll be safety tethered by requirement, I imagine. But they're going to play us up on top of the needle, right?
Absolutely.
When's that?
That is tomorrow.
Jonathan, for musicians, a guy like you is revered because you are in it for the art, because they can dream. The greatest music is made by people, not for money and not to get on American Idol and not to sell a lot of records, although great music can sell a lot of records. Greatest music made out of passion for the art. To someone coming up today, practicing their instrument really hard, writing songs, who thinks they have something, what would you say to them about the state of music now, how to succeed? Is the internet an impediment because there's, nobody gets a leg up, or is it an equal opportunity distribution platform? And should they obviously work with a local, an independent record label, or should they try to get on these reality shows? What would
Well,
you
the
say?
great thing is all of those things are true. It can be an impediment, and it can be an equal opportunity platform, speaking specifically of the internet. The great thing about the times that we live in is that there are so many options and opportunities to seize if you are a young artist.
There's so many opportunities. Just seize them.
Seize them.
Seize them. Yes, Joe.
The bands you sign and have helped get us started and put out their music are in the hundreds now. But going back to the beginning, the one band that everybody in the world knows, I mean, you go to any continent, and I'm talking Antarctica, anywhere, everybody knows Nirvana and everybody knows Kurt Cobain. And you're the guy who first, rolled the tape and put out a Nirvana record. Was there something different about those guys than the rest, or was that just another Seattle band that you thought a lot of.
How did they come into your world?
Well, I had first heard Nirvana before they were called Nirvana. It was Kurt Cobain's demo tape. It was played for me by a local producer, Jack Endino. I used to talk to him quite regularly because the recording studio that he had worked at the time was a stopover for any great rock band that was recording in Seattle. And so he played me this tape, and, I swear, if any of us in this room had heard that tape, we all would have had the same reaction. Kurt's talent and presence were undeniable.
That sounds humble of you. Like you don't think you discovered them, you just got to be the one to facilitate them. You think anybody would have appreciated it.
I truly believe that.
Who else are you most proud of?
Who else am I most proud of?
When it comes to keeping the lights on and having huge financial success.
Mudhoney. They saved the label at a crucial time. Bruce and I were, we parlayed a tiny broken piggy bank amount of money into, the capital needed to keep the label going, and Mudhoney exhibited tremendous amount of patience while we were trying to get our stuff together. And they did eventually do a tenure at the Warner Brothers record label, fine record label.
They moved on to the majors, to the bigs.
But they, like the great prodigal sons that they are, they came back after their tenure of riotous living.
And they're playing for you Saturday.
Absolutely.
For pizza and some
Beats and love,
Legos or
baby.
something.
And I think they're playing on Fallon tonight. Am I right?
Are they on Fallon tonight?
Oh, last night.
Last night.
Oh, wow, cool.
And you mentioned Jack is also playing Saturday, right? He has a band out there.
Yes, Earthworm.
That'll be interesting.
Jonathan Poneman. Check it out. All the information on this concert will be on our website, bobrivers.com. Our last word of the day winner is on the phone. Joyce in Seattle. It's been a little while, but go ahead with your sentence.
Hi, Bob. I heard a lot of people smoke ganja in Yellowstone.
The word was ganja, wasn't it?
It was ganja.
All right.
And
They
I
don't,
said
by the
ganja.
way. It's all old farts and RVs, but well, maybe they do. I don't know.
Yeah.
Eric, go ahead.
All right, Joyce, you've got a pair of tickets to see legendary singer-songwriter Kenny Loggins at the
Nice.
Snoqualmie Casino this Sunday, July 14th at 7 o'clock.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
You must make your ears burn and just.
Kenny Loggins.
I'm all right. That's not your kind of
I
music.
bet he's got a Kitty Loggins.
Do you?
in there
That's a great
somewhere.
question.
Yeah, what kind of music would you be embarrassed to admit you
Wait,
like?
who's Kenny Loggins?
Yeah, okay. I'll bet he's got a
Come on,
huge Neil Diamond collection. I am a sin.
Everybody thinks Neil Diamond is cool.
Yeah. Do you think-
Everyone.
Do you think Neil Diamond is cool?
Jonathan.
Who's Neil Diamond?
See what I
You're the
mean?
man. You're the man.
See, I told
President
you.
of Sub Pop Records. All right. All the information on our website, bobrivers.com. Go see this incredible celebration this weekend. And how much does it cost?
Free.
Are you crazy?
He's not in it for the money.
Well, it's free to everybody else.